Alright everyone, we start off today talking about Elon Musk trolling people at Twitter HQ. He showed up the other day carrying a bathroom sink, and the joke is let that sink in. It's sort of a dad joke. Some people are taking it as a Q reference, but, as a non-believer in that particular liberal canard, that distraction, if he is referencing that, I have a feeling he's just winking and trolling people even more, which would be masterful. He will be closing the deal, presumably on Friday, so TikTok, Twitter, pardon the pun, the time is numbered for some of the people that work there, including presumably the CEO. Good riddance. I think that here's what we can expect from the culmination of Musk buying Twitter. You have to understand that this deal is not solely financed by Elon Musk and Tesla stock. He has a bunch of other financiers that are on board with him. Now, many of them are close to him and presumably share some ideological overlap, but one thing unifies them all. They don't want to lose money. They want to make money. They want to make Twitter more profitable and then reap the rewards of having controlled the site. Twitter has plenty of goddamn room to grow, by the way, because unlike many of the other big tech sites, it hasn't gobbled up so much of a market share that it doesn't have growth potentially left in it. You simply have to innovate the right way, as in not go MySpace mode or Yahoo mode or something like that. If all Musk does is throttle back the outermost layer of censorship on Twitter, and he's already referred to the fact that he's willing and able to do this, that is, having a system by which people who are banned off the platform can get back on, not doing permabans at all, having a more transparent TOS and strike system, and stopping the banning people for meager political topics thing, so that you have several million extra users right off the bat let back on the platform, some of which have massive audiences. If that's all that he accomplishes, Twitter all of a sudden will surge. He can sit back, he can rest on his laurels after that, and the site will pretty much govern itself. If he goes after botting, that's a great idea too, and it should be fairly simple for someone like Elon Musk to do. I think that upon internal review of documents, of chats between employees, which he plans to axe plenty of the employees at Twitter too to save money. Good on him. A lot of them don't deserve jobs. Learn to code. If you already know how to code, learn to knit, I suppose. The days of the big old tech Silicon Valley Sears-style corporate construct is beginning to end anyway. Elon Musk is probably aware of this, and he's trying to make sure that his one-holded company doesn't go the way of the dinosaur. Did you see Google's posted growth for the last quarter? It's not looking good for some of these companies. Some of them have become so untenably large, there's no growth left. Not unless you move into a third world country and spend billions of dollars connecting everyone to the internet or to an app system. I have a feeling that this is what is about to happen. Let's talk about some of the things people are talking about with regards to the intermediate future of Twitter. Firstly, you're not going to see a mass exodus of left-wingers. While it would be nice if they started their echo chamber so they could just fuck off and go bother other people and, break all the toys in their own little domain, I don't think they'll do that because you've got to understand that leftoids they're not averse to outrage. They look for reasons to be offended. If everyone that triggered them was kicked off the site, they'd find a new trigger. It's basically the only reason that they exist. That's their particular MO. So they're not going to go to Tribble, they're not going to build some other third-party site, they're not going to leave in a huff and take their toys and go home. That's not going to happen for most of them. Most of them will stay around in order to continue being outraged and have things to write shitty Medium posts about. That's number one. Number two, while you are going to get a reform of the TOS, the ban system and stuff, I believe that Elon Musk will do that if only for fiscal reasons, you're not going to get a Wild West style approach there. It's not going to resemble Gab. It's not going to resemble Parler. It's not going to start resembling BitChute or Rumble or Odyssey or something like that. It will be a missing link website. It will link up the methodology and ethos of old tech, pre-old tech, which was vaguely classically liberal, at least on the surface, because it was more profitable at the time. You didn't have the outrage mob generation thing going on. It wasn't as fruitful back then. What happened is that corporations started whining and dining the leftoids because they wanted to look woke in order to make more money. they accidentally infected themselves with a severe strain of communistic authoritarianism, forcing them to continue bowing to the outrage mob they helped create. Twitter seeks to be the old tech site that got over that particular illness, therefore outcompeting all of the others. But it's not going to be new tech. It's not going to be principled free speech tech. It's going to be a platform where there is free speech by default, but it's not going to have that as a particular ethos. I think that's too much to ask. As far as profitability, I think it'll become more profitable. That's a pretty low bar, though, to cross, to be clear. And for botting, that's the one that Elon Musk talks about the most, even though it's really a back burner issue, I think, for the average person on the site. Many of us are more concerned about arbitrary and random bans going on and cybersecurity on the site, because there have been leaked details of people's information already from Twitter multiple times. That is a concern for people. Botting is at least a side issue, though, and I would think that for someone with Elon Musk's particular persona, it shouldn't be too hard to clean much of that off the site. But keep in mind that anything you don't completely destroy just evolves and comes back. It's a never-ending fight waged against spam, bots, all sorts of bullshit that happens on the internet. It's really an unwinnable war when you think about it. AI systems are deployed in order to try to stop fake accounts. Then AI systems are deployed that can literally generate fake people and fake information promulgated on the internet and get past those AI systems. So then you develop a new wave of AI systems to combat the second wave of AI systems, and so on forth. It's unwinnable long term, and it may kill the internet at some point, because there will be no way to tell the difference between a genuine person and some catfishing bot account or something. It's entirely possible that's the way the internet ends up getting pushed into its next generation, its next incarnated form. Elon Musk, though, I think intermediate term can solve the problem, at least in large part. I'm optimistic overall about the trajectory of the site, but I have reasonable hopes. It's sort of like when I talk about Trump. I said when he got into office, he'll be a mild reformer, he'll do a good job, but if you're expecting him to actually be God Emperor and do all of these panacea things that you want him to do, it's just not going to happen. That's not the way a government functions, it's not the way Trump functions, it's not going to occur. Elon Musk is in this primarily for money and for clout. It's an ego buy as well, in my opinion. Hey, I own Twitter now. I'm not just the dude putting all the rockets into space and connecting remote regions to a high-speed internet. I'm not just the person who's helping popularize EVs, a blot on his character if anything. I'm not the person who developed the Not a Flamethrower, which literally I made how much money did he make off of a glorified, overhyped weed wand? The world may never know. By the way, you can actually buy real flamethrowers off the internet. All you need to do is show ID. There's no further laws against them in most US states and in a number of countries. I don't know about the Netherlands. I'm assuming if I tried to have a Russian flamethrower shipped in, it'd probably get stopped by customs. There might be some questions asked. Also, there's nowhere here that you could use a flamethrower. Everything's either too aquatic or too densely populated. But, in the end, I think that Twitter will prevail over the other old tech sites. If anything, this gives it a longer longevity. It gives it a bigger lifespan than a site like Facebook. Meta is tearing itself apart right now. Snap is having problems. TikTok supposedly is becoming a main hub for news. I don't know exactly why, but when your entire demographic is tweens, when they grow up, it becomes a problem maintaining that demographic. The old tech sites mainly took off with college-age kids. Facebook was originally it was just for people in college. YouTube really catered to people that were at least almost through high school. It didn't limit itself to the teen demographic. You see the same thing like Rumble and stuff. New tech has a wide variety demographic. It's a bunch of different people, genders, races, etc. TikTok, I think, is more constrained than that, and it really is just first world tweens and teenagers. And then cringy people that are pretending that they're still young. Jen Psaki, I think, among others. And Whitmer get on there. And a few others. And it's just cringe as fuck. AOC, I'm sure, has a fucking TikTok account. Showing you the average mentality of their user base. I think that Twitter, what Elon Musk wants to do is revive the dinosaur. So make sort of like a zombie or a cyborg that continues shambling along for longer, allowing him to net a huge amount of profit in the process. Since he's not going to endanger the site's functionality in any meaningful way, this means that the TOS will fundamentally remain intact. but they will be reformed. They can be simplified massively beyond what they are now. The site will gain users. It will gain greater functionality. It will certainly gain greater relevance because Elon Musk will be popularizing it on a constant basis. That's another advantage that he has that some random tech CEO running a company does not have as well. That's about all. Peace out.